is in trouble, But let me get in on that. Also, since we were just bringing up Brady, Brady is in the news. Obviously he was in practice and he got this injured hand. He ran into one of his teammates and he missed practice. So with Brady in this hand injury, is it really, really, really that serious? I don't think Brady really needs to have a full week of practice. Now, with the Jacksonville Jaguars, this is a team that you can't play around with, but I just think with Brady, he is one guy that probably could miss a day or two, and he still would be all right, playing in the offense. I don't think this hand thing is really a big deal. I think they're just want to make sure that they do everything that's possible to make sure the hand is as healthy as it can be. It's not going to be 100% healthy. And what I'm thinking that they're doing at this point, they're basically trying to get him ready because Jacksonville will know he has a hand problem. You don't think Calais Campbell, Malik Jackson, Miles Jack, who else is on that team? Tevin Smith. You don't think if they got an opportunity to slap that hand just one time, you don't think they'll take the opportunity? Yeah, they're going to be looking for that hand. So they're trying to get ready as much as possible. Mochi said Tom Brady in his press conference today, talking about practice. We talking about practice. Not the game, but practice. Y'all should know where that's from. He'll be good. So the whole practice thing. There's not any new guys on this team, or there's guys coming off an injury that he needs to be linking up with desperately, on it. Gronk is going to be ready. Amendola is going to be ready. Brandon Cooks is going to be ready. Pick whatever running back that you wanted because we don't know who they're going to play anyway. So it could be they might bring back Corey Dillon to play for all we know. That's just what the Patriots do. But this hand is not a big issue, if you ask me. Now, the media, they will, and they'll definitely take a look at it and look at it as, what happens if his hand falls off? And it's just like, no, it's not going to fall off or anything. He'll be ready to go. If he need some extra medical attention, he's going to get it. So, it's not a big thing, America. Not at all. Now, what is a big thing, and you listen to your man Jelani J.B. Bodie, host of the Wait a Minute show, is that, and this is the part, I'm still taking calls. So if you want to call in, Fish made all this noise about calling in, and then we haven't even heard from him. But if you want to call in, you can call in. The number is 650-THE-WHAM-1. He has the number, 650-THE-WHAM-1. THEWAM and the number 1. Very simple. Ladies and gentlemen, the starters for the NBA All-Star game have been announced. Now, the reserves will be coming out soon, but we're going to just talk about the starters at this point. You got your East and your West. And we already know, there's going to be a little drama to it as it goes. And we'll talk about that later. But this is how it's set up. So for the West, you got Steph Curry, James Harden, Kevin Durant, AD, which is Anthony Davis, and Boogie Cousins. They will be representing the West All-Stars, if you will. Because it's going to change. So the East is LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Giannis Antetokounmpo. See, since I can kind of say it now, I can I'll say it a little bit more. Joel Embiid and DeMar DeRozan. Now, the biggest thing is, I don't think anyone, probably other than Embiid, maybe a surprise. The dude's been balling all year, so it's not as much of a surprise. But I think the biggest two things that I got from this whole voting thing, it's always been about popularity. And Tiffany PMP, comptroller Enville, she said in the chat room, which is where I'm going, is if Damian Lillard isn't a reserve for the second year in a row, I'm done with the All-Star game. And you have every right to be. And you have the argument to make that Damian Lillard could could have been, or maybe should have been, a starter. He's averaging 25 points this year and 6.5 assists. You can't have half, but, you get it. 6.5 assists, for this guy. And this guy is consistent. He always balls out. He's the, co-face, if you will, but he is the face of that franchise. He and CJ McCollum. And it just seems like he always gets the short end of the stick. And he's already said he's not going to play that game, and try to, get everybody to vote for him and get sympathy votes and all that stuff. And I respect that, on it. But, I'm looking at it here. Yes, Steph is awesome. Harden is awesome as well. Now, you could say it won't happen because this is the popularity part of the game, and I get it. But you might argue a tad bit, of putting Damian Lillard in instead of James Harden. Now, it won't be done, but he belongs in this, and it just seems like he always get, the short end of the stick. And I just feel like Damian Lillard is the Susan Lucci of the NBA. Everybody loves him. Everybody talks about him. Everybody adores him, But for whatever reason, when it's time to cash in and it's time to acknowledge this brother, they give some other person the award, or they give some reason why. And Tiffany PNP is right. If he is not on this team as a reserve, somebody should be slapped. Like slapped right on top of the lips, not in the mouth, on top of the lips. Indeed. Right, Lopan. Maybe you'll have to do it, Lopan. But yeah, this guy has been balling, and I think it just did injustice. And the reason I say that too, it follows it up with Manu Ginobili. Now, granted that this wasn't because there's 3 parts to this voting process. It's the fans, it's the players, and it's the media. The fans put Manu Ginobili behind Steph Curry as far as because they do a front court and back court. So guards and everything. It's not point guard, shooting guard. It's just guards, and Steph was first and Manu Ginobili was second. And he's averaging I think 9 points. It's just, it's to me, this is one of the problems that the All-Star game has, is that you don't have enough space. And to me, I don't see what's wrong with putting maybe 1, possibly 2, but one extra roster spot for the All-Star game. It's a special game. It's an exhibition game. It's not your normal game. So why do you have to have, per se, the normal rules? What do people always talk about during this All-Star game? Whoever the coach is going to be. Is the coach going to play my guy too much? Is he going to, have him out there and risk him for... Here's how you can do that, man. Open up another roster spot. Damian Lillard was left off the freaking team. Not just he wasn't a starter. Okay, he could have been a starter, but he wasn't a starter. Okay, but he's a reserve. No, he was left off the All-Star team one time. You think fans are gonna be like, you know what? I don't want to see Damian Lillard. He didn't make them. No, if put him in the game. We had the same situation last year with not the same, but similar with Bradley Beal and Carmelo. Carmelo was going to go on vacation because he didn't get voted in, but the commissioner chose Carmelo Anthony over Bradley Beal. Really? Bradley Beal had a heck of a season last year. You couldn't have put him in there or open up another roster spot. That's, to me, with this draft, I like the draft that they're doing. I do love that. And I just think with the draft and then opening up an extra roster spot, that's how you can not alleviate, but minimize these snubs that be getting done to these guys. Mochi says that in the Wait a Minute show chat room, he says fan voting should be limited. I think it should be taken down from the 50%, maybe down to 40, 35% maybe, or something like that. Because let's be honest, fans don't watch the game like the players or the media. I even think the media should be, changed a little bit too. And the players probably, and maybe have just like this expert panel, when it comes to picking and have that weighted as well. But whatever they decide. But the biggest thing, like Mochi said, it really needs to be, changed. 50% is a lot, for you to be voting, and you're voting Manu Ginobili. I love me some Manu Ginobili, man. That guy is one of my favorite basketball players of all time. But we all know Manu shouldn't be on this team. I don't even think Manu would play if he got selected. He probably would have been like, that's crazy. He's been an All-Star 2 times before, but I don't think he would want to play in that situation. Tiffany Sports and Heels, but Tiffany PNP did say it, preach, Jelani. But Tiffany Sports, they write together, so they're trying to confuse me. Tiffany Sports and Heels said the NBA All-Star was ruined with more than just fan voting when players stopped caring about the participation in All-Star events and when the weekend lost its shine. It's a shame that it's harder to get a celebrity game ticket than an All-Star game ticket. Tiffany makes a great point. You're absolutely right. They made, the past few years, and even in the NFL, they have shamed the All-Star game. And they are charging way too much. They are charging too much currency. Let me just say that. To be putting that product out on the court. And then be giggling, laughing, and all this stuff, and having a good time. And then you out on recruitment trips and all this stuff trying to get other players to show up to the game on Sunday and play like that. Tiffany has a very valid point. So and LeBron and them have mentioned it. They need to change it. Just play. Just play. That's what they did in the past. They just play. I understand money is on the line. I understand people are worried about getting injured. Well, if you're worried about getting injured, don't play and then put in Damian Lillard. He'll play. Book it. I'm sure he'll play. So if you don't want to play, there's other guys that will play in this game that can ball. And that the rest of the country will probably find out about. That can ball. I know it's a popularity contest, But we the people of the United States of America and the world, deserve a better performance from the NBA All-Star game. That's all I'm saying. But, again, your starters, Steph Curry, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins, stop calling him Boogie, LeBron James for the East, Kyrie Irving, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, and DeMar DeRozan. So those are your starters, and we'll get into the reserves when we get that list, and hopefully my man Damian Lillard will be on there, man. The dude balls, man. The dude, that's all. He balls. So this pop-up show, really was supposed to go for about an hour. And we're at the hour mark now. So maybe I should just, sign off, or maybe I should keep going, and this thing just end when it's supposed to end, Lopan, are you in agreement with me just ending the show right now? Lopan, would you like to say something? I said, would you like me to end the show now? Okay. Would you like me to keep going, Lopan?
Indeed.
Okay, all right. That's all you had to say, Lopez. So let's keep this thing going. Yeah, we at the hour mark, but we're going to keep going with this pop-up show. And whenever it ends, it will end at this point. So, Tiffany, PMP